Alright, everyone. It is July 16th. I know, what a time jump from the last vlog. I'm back with another Bible clip, and then this clip will lead into my weekend with Ryan going to Chicago for the Creed concert. It's a festival, the Summer '99 festival. There's going to be Limp Bizkit and Bush. Right now outside currently the Canadian wildfires are going on, so it's like real hazy outside. So can't go out there. The air quality's pretty poor. So I hope it doesn't affect the weekend. That's all I can say. But I'm gonna read in the Bible here. This whole thing will be a clip before I start the vlog, but so I need to get more of these clips in here, and I feel like this will be a good entrance to the vlog. So I'm reading from Jonah. There's 3 questions in here, and then there's a prayer at the end to think about. So I'll start with what verse of this. So this is really this prayer is related to chapter 2, verse 2 of Jonah. I'll read verse 2. He said, "In my distress I called to the Lord, and he answered me. From deep in the realm of the dead I called for help, and you listened to my cry." This is what the prayer says. He answered me. You can almost hear the amazement in Jonah's words, can't you? The idea that the all-powerful creator of the universe cared enough to listen and respond to the cries of one man was astounding to him, as it should be to anyone who comes to the same realization. What makes Jonah's testimony unusual is that it came while he was stuck in the digestive system of a large fish. Think for a moment about what that would be like. 3 days in the slimy, stinky, pitch-black darkness circling slowly around the sea with no inkling of when the journey would end. Yet even though Jonah didn't know how things would play out, he recognized that his situation, as unique as it was part of God's answer to his prayer. Can you trust in God the same way about your current situation? Even though Jonah was stuck in the stomach of a creature, a large fish, aka the whale, he still cried out to God, and God still answered him and find his way out. And it kind of relates to the situation of life right now. You know, I'm whatever situation you may be in, or the situation I'm in right now. And it won't last forever, and God will eventually. God always hears your prayers, and he'll act and adjust accordingly to your prayers, and you just gotta trust that it will happen, and the situation will resolve on its own. That's kind of what I think about this prayer. But okay, 3 of the questions here. So the first question: what situations have caused you to be angry with God? Okay, wait, I gotta think about this. Angry with God. I guess one situation would be my my expectations of him being real. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, this can't be right, you know? It's like, I don't understand how this could even work. Like, how could there be a God and stuff? And on one hand, I'm like, well, Jesus, like, he sent his only son down, and he died on the cross, like Jesus. And God acts in mysterious ways, in my opinion. But I've always, like, I think my college years was tough because I was always questioning his existence, and I like, just last year around this time I figured it out a little bit. I'm like, I believe he's real. That was like one situation where I got mad because I was so I didn't know if this was all real or not, and what's real, what's not real. I just finally decided to be like, yeah, this is it. This is real. This has to be real. I mean, this is my life, and this is God's game I'm playing in right now, and I just feel like I got to be on his side, and I chose to be on his side, and I try to form a relationship and try to form my life around God. So that was just one situation where I was angry with God. I was angry with God when my pet died. My dog Max, he passed away in 2024. He had bad arthritis, and that was a tough day for me. I'm not gonna lie. That was like the first major loss in my life. I'm not sure if I mentioned this in another video, but fortunately, I'm very grateful that I have both my grandparents still alive, and I'm 23 years old. It's a blessing. Yeah, they're getting old, but it's nice to have them around still at this age. But yeah, I was angry at God for my dog passing away. He was 13 years old. He had bad arthritis in his back legs, and I remember that day I was so selfish that day. I was, I knew his legs were bad. I knew he couldn't walk, and my dad and my brother were like, well, we got to go to the vet. And I'm like, my selfish ways, I'm like, no, I got to go to the gym. And thank God I didn't go to the gym, because it turned out the way I didn't want it to turn out, the events. I'm glad I went with my brother and my dad. Thank God the gym can wait sometimes, and I figured that something more important in life comes up. That situation made me realize that, the gym's not everything. That was I know, you're probably behind the camera right now. You're probably behind the video right now, just like, what the heck is this guy's problem? Like, wanting to go to the gym rather than go see his dog get put down. I didn't know he was going to get put down. I thought maybe he'd get rescued. I had a positive outlook, but in some way, though, I do feel like I was being greedy and selfish. Not greedy, but selfish in that instance of when I was not wanting to go and just go to the gym. That was the situation I was angry but to go back to it, I was a situation where I was angry with God because, I don't know, he took away something that I love so much, just like that out of my life, and I wasn't expecting it. I think it was a Friday in May. It was just like, I got home, like, I just started work too. I'm pretty sure I just started, like, no, it was 2024. I started working at my internship literally that week, and then just that Friday, like, he passed away, and I don't know, I just felt like it was not fair, but it's inevitable death, and it's something I gotta, like, when I'm angry at God, there's always a lesson to be learned after my anger. I realize, like, there's always a lesson to be learned when I'm angry at something in general, not even God, like something in general, someone in general. There's always a lesson to be learned. Second question, is it ever okay to be angry with God? If so, when? Another tough question. Okay, these are tough, because I think it's understandably so. I think you can be angry at God. You just can't hold the grudge forever. Job was angry at God. This is like just one thing I remember. Like, Job was angry at God for a little bit, and then he just started accepting his fate towards the end of the passage. But he was angry. He was questioning. I feel like a lot of people got angry in like the span of the human race. So many people have been angry at God. I've definitely been angry at God. Obviously, I just told you about all that stuff. But I think that once you're angry with God, and then you try to think it through, and he kind of like guides you a little bit to make the right decision or get to the right mindset, I think that it gets turned into something that you learn, and it's okay to ask God for guidance, and it's okay to be angry with him. I think that showing your frustrations actually strengthens your relationship with God, and I've definitely seen that through myself, trying to build my relationship with God. My anger kind of helped build it, because I'm angry at him, and then I start to think things through, and I'm like, okay, well, that kind of makes sense, or like, that's not fair, but I understand why you did that, God. I think it strengthens your relationship. I think it's okay to be angry with God, and when it's okay. So it says, is it okay to be angry with God? And if so, when? I don't know. I don't know when. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just whatever happens, I guess. Like, I don't know, like you get angry randomly. I don't know a certain situation, honestly. I don't know how to answer that. Third question. How can anger make you short-sighted? You're too emotional when you're angry, so you start like thinking, you start seeing everything close around you, like like your family members. You start getting angry at them. You got to start getting angry at your surroundings or people that you love, and obviously, anger is not a good thing to hold, to maintain as an emotion. You gotta be able to fight through it and work through it and calm yourself down whenever you're angry. I do that all the time. I try. I still get angry sometimes, but I try to like take a deep breath and lock in a little bit. But anger can make you short-sighted. I don't know. It's just like you're just too into your emotions. You're not tapped into your intellect and your brain. You're just on the haywire of just like reactive. You're too reactive to like, for me personally, like I get reactive when I'm angry. Like something happens, like I snap on it instantly, or if I see something, I react to it immediately. And learning to control that and like let God handle the anger and handle the stress for you or whatever you're going through, it works. Okay, wait. I know that wasn't a good answer. I don't know how to answer that. I feel like I'm the way it makes me short-sighted is that I become reactive, and I try to work through it. That's all you got to do. I know it's just like, well, how do you work through it? You just gotta train your brain, to spot, to recognize when you're actually angry and be like, okay, well, I'm angry, and this is my only life, and I choose to be happy. I want to be happy in my life because this is my only life I get, and I want to enjoy every moment of it. So let's be happy, kind of thing. And that kind of helps me change my mindset around. And if it gets too serious, I start to try to pray when I recognize that I'm angry. So I hope that answered the question a little bit. But this is something to end this off with. Goes to all the world. God is an equal opportunity God. He doesn't care what language someone speaks or what country that person is from. He created each and every person and desires that everyone have a personal relationship with him. Jonah was a man who loved God, but he didn't agree with God's plan for the world. Jonah didn't want to share the good news with the naiveties because he knew God would offer forgiveness to them. God wanted him to share it anyway. It's easy for us to start thinking like Jonah, hanging out only with those who look or sound like us, thinking our type of church or neighborhood is better or more deserving of God's love. God doesn't see the world that way. He loves all the people and considers all of them equal. Yeah, this is the book of Jonah. I was getting those questions from. I haven't really dived in, I haven't dived into that, the book, but I kind of understand the story a little bit. Jonah and the whale, or whatever. He got swallowed by a whale. Alright, well, I hope I answered his questions right. I try. Just stuff to think about. Like, now I want you to think about how you get angry in your life. Like, whenever you get angry, how do you react? Like, are you reactive like me? Like things around you, you start to snap at things and start to be passive aggressive a little bit, or like, I get that way sometimes. You gotta recognize when you get angry and try to flip it around and be like, well, I could be angry at, for example, I could be angry at my parents, but take a deep breath and be like, well, they're my parents and I love them. They did it a lot for me in my life, and I choose to be happy, and I choose to be loving instead of angry and hateful and stuff like that. So I don't know, just food for thought. Think about it. Future me, kids, when you get angry, how are you acting, and how will you respond to anger as well? I didn't really discuss that, but when someone's angry at you, how do you respond? for me, when someone's angry at me, I go in defense mode, obviously. I think a lot of people go into defense mode. I kind of tend to go quiet when it happens because if I say something, I'm the one that, like, when someone's angry at me or if I'm in an argument or something, my mind just turns off for some reason. I wish I could come up with comebacks or, rebuttals or something like that, but I just can't. My mind just goes blank, and I'm just like taking it. I'm just accepting the yelling or the argument against me, and I'm just like, well, I don't know. I don't know how to react. I wish I did. I'm working on it too. Honestly, I am working on it. Learning to stay in the present when some of that stuff happens, like when I'm in an argument or someone's yelling at me for something. I try to lock in and be like, okay, well, if it actually was my fault or something, I take accountability, obviously, and I'm honest about stuff. But if it wasn't against me, I try to work through it and try to talk around it. But I don't know. I'm going off on a tangent here. All right. Next clip should be me on the road with Ryan or something like that. So, peace. 10:08, July 18th. Just stopped for our first piss break. And then we got, 5 more hours to go.
5 hours, 3 down.
Yeah, we're going to Chicago. So this is first clip of their first stop. Thanks. We just been jamming to whatever's been on. Kanye, Limp, Sublime, Stained. Yep. So, all right. Here's a room tour for the Summer of '99 festival in Chicago. All right, here's the bathroom. It's dark here. I'm gonna turn this light on. Here we are. There's me. Here's the shower and stuff. The bathroom. It's not too bad. It's pretty clean in here. Come out here. Look at this, 2 big beds.
Oh yeah,
Living
in luxury.
Yep. Got this nice little couch here for you know what. I was kidding. All right. Got our snacks and stuff over there. I have SpongeBob on just so it sounds like there's people in here. And that's about it.
It's fucking nice.
Yeah.
Luxurious. AC.
AC right over there.
AC.
Ryan's gonna be sleeping by that. But
Yeah, I got the nice bed.
yeah. Whatever. I mean, we both got our own bed, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, they're good beds. They're both good.
Yeah. And then we're gonna wake up after that and fucking get some good breakfast.
Again.
Yeah, get turned again.
After breakfast. Yeah.
Round 2. All right. I'll see you.
I made it to the festival. I don't even know what time it is. It's probably like after 4. But this is pretty cool. Ryan's in the bathroom right now. We got our shirts. I'll show that later on. The amphitheater is over here behind me. You see it right there. Better go in. I'm not sure who's up next. Either Puddle of Mud at 5, I think, and then Kitty after that, and then we got Cypress Hill, and then Limp Bizkit. So should be a good time when we're in the pit. So it's gonna be freaking rager. I'll try to record as much as possible, but we'll see. All right, peace.
Literally right here.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Got about 30 feet between me and Scott Stapp.
That's tomorrow, but
Yeah.
Fred Durst today. His staff.
It's gonna be fucking awesome.
Yeah. Here we go. I'll be sure to record here. But this is the vibes right now. We got in.
It's Saturday night! It's not true, but I did it all for the nookie, baby! Three, two, one, come on, get up!
Early morning with what is Sunday?
Get it in.
Sunday 10 a.m. at Chicago Planet Fitness.
Chest day.
Matson, Illinois. There we go, we're hitting chest and try.
conclusion of the vlog. All those clips you saw was there from Chicago. It's Wednesday the 22nd, July 22nd. So last clip was probably from Sunday. And Ryan and I took the Monday to get home. We got home. We left there at 9 a.m. But you got to realize that they're an hour behind us. So we actually added on an hour. So instead of 8 hours, it was a 9-hour journey, but it was like an 8-hour journey. And we got home at like 6, so it took a while to get home on a Monday, and then right back to it Tuesday, back to the work grind. So yeah, now it's Wednesday. Girlfriend comes over tomorrow, and she's gonna stay the weekend at my house, so should be a fun time. I'm not sure what we'll get into, but hopefully I'll be able to record. So that's the end of the journey. Peace.